He looked me dead in the eye, 3 weeks before our breakup, and said, "I would never do that to you." Tonight, at his own engagement party, I was about to prove, in front of 150 guests, exactly how much that promise was worth. Champagne glasses raised. A string quartet playing softly. And the man who cheated on me for 2 years slipping a ring onto another woman's finger, while everyone clapped like it was the purest love story they'd ever seen. I stood at the back of that ballroom, holding a folder full of secrets that were about to burn his perfect little fairy tale straight to the ground. So tell me, am I the villain here? Or did he have this coming? Let me tell you exactly what happened. We'll call me Claire for this story. I dated a man named Mark for 3 years. 3 years of "I love yous," 3 years of meeting his parents, 3 years of building a future I genuinely believed was solid, unshakable, even. We met in college, that classic story, study sessions turning into late night talks turning into something real. Mark was charming, charismatic, the kind of guy who remembered your coffee order and had your friends laughing within 5 minutes. My mother loved him. My best friend Jenna loved him, and trust me, Jenna doesn't love anyone easily. But about a year and a half in, something shifted, slowly, quietly, the way poison works when it's diluted just enough not to taste it. Working late. Phone face down on the table. Calls taken in another room, door closed, voice low. I noticed. Of course I noticed. But when you love someone, you make excuses for them before they even need to make excuses themselves. He's stressed. He's just busy. I'm being paranoid. I wasn't being paranoid. It took 8 more months, and even then, I didn't find it through some dramatic discovery. I found it through a text that wasn't even meant for me. His phone buzzed while he showered, and a message lit up the screen from a contact saved as, "Work Sarah." It read, "Can't wait to see you this weekend, I miss you so much." My stomach dropped. My hands went cold. I told myself there had to be an explanation, there always is, right? Right up until there isn't. I didn't confront him immediately, I needed proof, real proof. Mark was smooth, and I knew he'd talk circles around a feeling. So I waited. I watched. And slowly, painfully, the picture became clear. Sarah wasn't Work Sarah. She'd been his secret for over a year. Hotel receipts. Photos. Messages that physically ached to read. He had an entire second life running parallel to ours, and I'd been living inside the version of reality he built for me, like a stage set. When I finally confronted him, he barely even denied it. He cried. He begged. He said it didn't mean anything, that Sarah was just a mistake that got out of hand. Classic. Predictable. Pathetic, honestly. I left that night. Packed my things into my car in the rain, like something out of a movie, and drove straight to Jenna's apartment, where I cried until I physically couldn't anymore. For months, I tried rebuilding. Therapy. Self-care. The whole 9 yards. I told myself I was over it. Then, 10 months later, came the news that cracked it all back open. Mark was engaged. To Sarah. Not only engaged, throwing a massive engagement party. 150 guests. A hired photographer. A custom hashtag for Instagram. The kind of party where everyone pretends the love story is pure and untouched. Here's the twist that made my blood boil. A mutual friend told me Sarah had been calling me the unstable ex who couldn't let go, who'd been obsessed with Mark even after he'd moved on. She had rewritten the entire story, cast herself as the innocent woman who swept in after we were already done. We weren't done. He was still with me when it started. I sat with that for days. Something quiet, something simmering, started to shift inside me. This wasn't about jealousy anymore. This wasn't about wanting him back. This was about the truth being buried alive at a party celebrating the exact lies that buried it. So when Jenna mentioned she'd been invited, small social circle, unavoidable overlap, an idea started forming. Dangerous. Electric. Terrifying. I asked her to get me in. She hesitated, searching my eyes for any sign of hysteria. Are you sure about this? I'm not going to make a scene, I told her, calm. I'm just going to bring the truth with me. The night arrived. I wore black, simple, sharp, nothing flashy, because I wasn't there to be seen, I was there to be heard. Inside my bag, printed messages, time-stamped photos, and a hotel receipt dated 3 weeks before Mark and I officially broke up. The ballroom was golden light and soft jazz, the kind of elegance money buys. Mark looked happy. Sarah looked radiant. And as the room gathered for the toast, as Mark's father raised his glass to talk about true love finding its way, something in me went perfectly, eerily calm. I waited until the toast ended. Until the applause settled. Until Mark opened his mouth to thank everyone for this beautiful chapter. That's when I stepped forward. Before this chapter continues, I said, voice steady, cutting clean through the chatter, I think everyone deserves to know how it actually started. The room went silent. Dead silent. Mark's face drained of color. I opened the folder. No screaming. No tears. I simply read the date on the hotel receipt out loud, a date 4 months before Mark and I broke up. I held up the screenshot from Work Sarah. I watched Sarah's smile shatter into pure panic. Gasps rippled through the crowd like a wave. Mark's mother covered her mouth. Someone in the back whispered, "Oh my God." Mark lunged for the folder, voice cracking. "Claire, don't do this, not here." "You didn't think about here either," I said quietly, "when you were sneaking around for over a year." I set the folder down on the gift table, turned, and walked out, every single eye in that ballroom burning into my back. After that night, everything fell apart, fast. The engagement didn't survive the week. Mutual friends reached out, apologizing for ever doubting me. Sarah's carefully built reputation cracked wide open. Mark, last I heard, moved to another city, trying to outrun a story that followed him anyway. And me? I felt lighter. Not happy, exactly, but free, like I'd finally set down a weight I didn't even realize I'd been carrying for years. So here's what I learned. Truth has a way of surfacing, even when it's buried under champagne and string quartets. Closure isn't always something someone gives you, sometimes, you have to take it yourself. And the people who rewrite your story to make themselves the hero? They're usually the ones most terrified of the truth ever coming out. So tell me, was I wrong for exposing him right there, in that moment, in front of everyone? Or did he build that stage himself? Drop a comment below with, what would you do? I read every single one. If this story hit you right in the chest, smash that like button, subscribe to Betrayal Shadows for more real stories just like this, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next betrayal that'll leave you speechless.